Hello and welcome back to Coin Lady channel. Unexpected reversal to the upside in XRP as the market improves. What follows is as follows. There has been some encouraging green in the past day. I'd rather have it than the red right now, but it's nothing to write home about. As a result of this, many people are worried about the current state of legacy finance and the financial system in general, especially in the United States. Look at the headline, for example. Gallup found this. Roughly half of all Americans are concerned about their financial security. Is that something that concerns you? And here are some of my thoughts and observations on the subject. This has been the prevailing tone in discussions about this issue for the past week or two, yet the question remains. Is this a factor that could increase the use of cryptocurrencies? But before we go any further, I do want to clarify something. I come from a completely monetary free background. You should not buy or sell anything based on anything I say or write because I am not giving financial advice. Just a hobbyist here that occasionally posts films to YouTube on various crypto-related topics. As I record this video, XRP is trading at $0.46 per Bitcoin, with a market valuation of little over $29 billion and a Bitcoin dominance of around 46.5%. This asset class is worth more than $1.20 trillion. 64 out of 100 on the crypto fear and greed index. It's the same as yesterday. It's fine if you're feeling greedy right now. I enjoy it when the usual retail speculators are greedy because I get no satisfaction from seeing them suffer. Yet I still make a tally. I know that the general public will follow the herd and make poor financial decisions based on their feelings, and I welcome it. When it comes to holding stocks and cryptocurrencies, I plan to do nothing and instead sit back and enjoy the profits that eventually accrue to those who do nothing. And this is something else I wanted to bring up. The number of US-based vendors selling XRP has dwindled to a select handful. I'd say Uphold, BitTrue, and GitHub off the top of my mind. Despite this, I cannot stress enough how unwise it is to hold your XRP on any exchange. That being said, I admire BitTrue's courage in remaining active in the XRP community. They've always been great to the XRP community, but they were recently compromised. Consequently, I did not come across any alerts indicating that any particular amount of XRP had been stolen. And yet, crypto basic BitTrue hacked over 172 billion, according to the headline. Drainage of 310,000 Matic from a Shiba in use 320 quant. If you haven't already, you should probably think about moving your cryptocurrency assets to a secure location like a hardware wallet or, at the very least, away from any online exchanges. There are dangers on both sides. I'm not saying someone is foolish enough to invest in XRP, but simply that some individuals seem to be treating it like pocket change. This is how I handle my XRP. It's entirely possible that this is a genuine lottery ticket. The way I treat mine is similar. This is why I take care of my own custody and have been doing so since the end of 2017, roughly 6 to 7 weeks after I first started investing in cryptocurrency. And also, I wanted to quickly bring up this point. Have you been keeping up with the latest meme stock news? I haven't really discussed it on my channel because it's just foolish nonsense, but here's a brief summary in case you haven't seen the numbers. It's freaking currency. And so, there are reliable chart experts in the crypto space who penned the following this morning. There are several large accounts taking advantage of the current meme coin craze by pumping and dumping worthless micro-cap meme coins on their followers. Large accounts that are currently silent on the topic of meme coins are not unaware of their existence. There's a good reason why we won't bring them up here. Look, I'm not suggesting that you make any specific financial decisions, such as whether or not to make a purchase. Whatever you idiotic adults decide to do is fine by me. I have faith in you to make the proper decision. I don't think of you as the kind of retail speculator who blindly follows the crowd. Overall, we expect them to have a significant impact on stock and cryptocurrency prices over the long term. Even though the Daily Hodl has seductive headlines like this one, I'll just give my personal opinion that I want nothing to do with this. Check this out. Trader makes 38.67% gain on alternative to Dogecoin and Shiba Inus. That is a 6-fold increase in less than a month. Therefore, I will not read the article, but please enjoy this. This coin called the Pepe is the topic of conversation. However, don't you think it's probably too late by the time you see headlines like this? Do you not agree that this is the most probable explanation? But here they are, sitting comfortably. What an interesting tale. This I will freely admit. This is something I'm aware of. This person just sold some of his $44,410 worth of this coin, and now that chunk is worth more than it was when he bought it. From $4,410, it jumped to more than $1.7 million. However, this is obviously not the case. In general, this is not how individuals become filthy rich trading cryptocurrencies. These are extreme cases, not the norm. Because you can probably picture it being tossed around like a coin when it's launched. What is the correct terminology for referring to a coin? A question: what is this? Your investment is $4,400. Oh, come on, now. That's not often how people act. Putting money like that into a new cryptocurrency out of the blue is a surefire way to lose it. Excellent, somebody made a killing on this. However, in my opinion, a more practical strategy would be to invest only in those cryptocurrencies that serve a practical purpose and hence have a higher chance of lasting into the future. Will this dumb coin even be remembered a decade from now? I'm going to take a wild guess and say probably not. Simply stating, merely stating. However, XRP is once again the subject of upbeat press coverage. Here's one whose headline reads XRP to $27 expert reveals key factors driving price target, and whose accompanying article I have no interest in reading. I don't think it's out of the question that XRP may be valued $27 or much more in the future. Since basically no one on Earth owns crypto and even fewer than 1% of people, considerably less than 1% of humans, have ever had XRP at any point in time, I don't believe it's crazy in a crypto asset class where there's much larger acceptance. That's why it's so unbelievable that XRP, half a decade ago ran to almost $4 with almost no humans on the earth having ever held it. Doesn't that lead you to believe that the price could skyrocket if we're right? The plan to reach $27 is reasonable, then? No way, not in my mind. No way, no how. To be honest, I don't find that crazy in the least. However, I'm not confident that it will reach that level in the next market cycle, when XRP is expected to achieve a new all-time high and enter the price discovery phase. I could be proven wrong, too. That will make me very content. That's fine if that's the case. But it's highly unlikely that that will happen on the first try. It happens occasionally, though. In other words, I anticipate a future where several coins have market capitalization in the trillions of dollars. As one of the most practical and widely utilized cryptocurrencies, XRP would be among the first to achieve this rank. That's about the most likely scenario, I guess. Similar to making an investment, keeping your P poses risks. And if I'm wrong, it could be null. However, in my opinion, that is the most likely scenario. To be continued. And then there's the issue of whether or not uncertainty and panic within the banking sector alone will abate. Will that lead to even more people using cryptocurrencies? Well, I've talked about it a little bit over the past couple of days, and I'm a little suspicious because, if true, this would be the first time in Bitcoin's or cryptocurrency's history that something like this has ever happened. The 2008 financial crisis, for example. Obviously, Bitcoin was not around then. And check out this tweet from former Ripple employee Craig DeWitt. He penned, "Oh my God, you people who believe in fractional reserve banks. The folks in charge of things are so darn ignorant. How is that even possible? It's been here for a long time, and I get that, but it's still stupid. Because people will always try to rob banks. Dumb. So, consider this. According to Craig DeWitt, fractional reserve banking is a confidence game, and it appears that confidence is once again waning. Gold was nationalized by the United States government in 1933 for security reasons. Gold cost $29. The United States government begins its assault on crypto in 2023. The current price of Bitcoin is around $29. Now I don't think that it's even possible that he said this, but I seriously doubt that crypto will be confiscated like gold was in the past. That doesn't seem likely to me. Not that they would actually do something like that. To be honest, I don't see it happening anytime soon. You put your money in the bank, but it's almost as if the bank doesn't have it, so it's easy to lose faith in the system. It's not at the bank. At this time, the bank is responsible for paying 0%. And, again, I'm going off memory here, but I believe the average is somewhere around 8% for smaller and medium-sized financial institutions. In other words, if there is a bank robbery, you won't have any money. I'm aware of the FDIC and everything, but the fact is that many accounts lack adequate coverage. People are placing their hopes on a rescue from Big Brother in the form of government assistance. Suppose something like this occurs. Banks are now failing. And in the end, the businesses and people have been made whole, right up until this moment. And in my opinion, the government has no choice but to allow for a fractional reserve banking system if one is to exist. If there is ultimately no buyer for the bank's assets and no one willing to assume the failed bank's debt, then the bank will likely go under. If people lose faith in the banking system and the dollar as a whole, then it's game over. This is why the government must intervene. You can no longer claim national sovereignty. There is no functioning economy in your country. Of course, at that point, they just keep printing money until the currency is worthless, which solves the problem. But that only makes inflation worse. This is a loss for individuals who have dollars in their possession. And the main reason is that the people who are hoarding large sums of money are not really affluent. Their assets make up the bulk of their fortune. People in lower socioeconomic status are more likely to possess money. Since they don't have much to begin with, they end up getting absolutely smashed. However, consider this. About half of us worry about our financial situation, according to Gallup, as I mentioned at the beginning of the movie. Banking security. Nearly half of Americans worry about the security of their bank accounts and other financial assets in light of recent turmoil in the US banking industry. 1/5 of American adults, 19%, are very worried, and another 29% are somewhat worried about their financial situation. Nonetheless, 20% are not worried in the least, and 30% are not overly reassured. Which category do you fit into, then? I can assure you that, when it comes to my own finances, I am firmly in the not worried at all camp. Extremely worried about the devaluation of the currency. However, if a bank were to fail, would I be okay financially? Well, absolutely, because I don't think the federal government will allow that to happen, if it comes down to it, just like you saw with the, effectively bailing out at least one of the banks. What came first, the bank or the valley? The Bank of Silicon Valley. So far as I'm aware, JP Morgan did indeed intervene with First Republic recently. However, supposing they hadn't, and no one else did. So, what do you envision occurring? In order for the government to intervene, it would be necessary to alter the law and regulation already in place. However, I believe they most certainly would. And so, I'm sitting here thinking, in terms of this propelling crypto adoption, I know that's the story out there right now, but I still see that historically crypto has always been seen as a risk-on asset. So, I just don't see where the evidence is that would lead me to believe that's changed. It will be handled differently from now on. Because it's possible, and I'm not saying it isn't fine at the moment. Yes, perhaps I'm not. Whatever time that may be, in the future or right now, is fine with me. But let me explain. To clarify, I'm not arguing that people would suddenly start using crypto as a result of this event. Rather, I'm questioning how rational it is to assume it to be the most probable outcome given the complete lack of evidence to support such a conclusion. I don't think there will be a huge influx of new crypto investors because of this. Where is the research on that? I just think it's a story that crypto enthusiasts, especially Bitcoin enthusiasts, like to tell themselves. However, I find that it doesn't quite ring true. I hope that it is correct. That's an awesome idea. I believe a change in attitude about this issue is feasible in the future, and this is one of the reasons I hold this view. Also, it's important to me to have wealth that governments can't devalue. That is why I do cling on to it. Even while I do that, I wonder if other people who invest and are generally interested in legacy finance would come to the same conclusion in the future. This is something I admit is possible but am suspicious about. Let's see what happens. In addition, you also sent this later today. In preparation for a bear market, I am clearly a huge fan of Glassnode's analysis here. One of the co-founders is credited with this idea. However, consider this. As the US dollar index DXY undergoes huge volatility, a recent analysis by Glassnode says the cryptocurrency market may be preparing for a bear market. The DXY, which tracks the dollar's value in relation to a group of other currencies, has been on a tear upwards since the beginning of 2021. Risk assets, such as cryptocurrencies, have had a lackluster 2022 due in part to this pattern. The price of digital assets tends to move in the opposite direction of the DXY, thus a decrease in the DXY can have a substantial bullish effect on risk assets. After inflation peaked in September 2022, the DXY started a new bearish leg. The DXY is forecast to rise temporarily in early May before plunging back down to the 105 to 107 region. The experts presented a chart showing how a pullback in the upward trend of the DXY could lead to a bear market in the near future. For digital assets and the cryptocurrency industry as a whole, this is a major step. When the DXY rises, it suggests that investors are shifting their money into the US dollar from risky assets like Bitcoin. So, there you have it. Even Glassnode acknowledges this. Cryptocurrency is still a potential threat to wealth. So, let's break that down. What does it indicate if people's faith in the banking system declines? To which destination will the money actually flow? I mean, they must be going somewhere if they are all flocking together. Furthermore, I don't see much evidence of a bear market at the present time. And so perhaps if they mean something truly short-term, but in terms of hitting a new low relative to what we saw when Bitcoin hit its low of roughly 15,500 this past November after the FTX collapse, I just don't buy into that unless, and this is always my caveat, it always will be no matter what market cycle, unless you have a wild card event outside of that, the bottom is in folks. Therefore, if they're referring to a bear market, they're merely referring to a temporary decrease in price activity. If that's what constitutes a bear market, then I agree with them. Okay. But I'll let you be the judge of that. So, what do you make of that? Leave your thoughts in the comments. If I had to give you my honest assessment, I'd say that we won't see anything like that. Most likely, the market will move in narrow ranges throughout the most of 2023. Positive developments in the SEC versus Ripple case are likely to emerge at some time. I anticipate that this will result in a meteoric rise in XRP. I can't say for sure if that means a new record high, but it's certainly possible. As a result, I anticipate a meteoric rise in the value of all coins on the crypto market. It could cause a major shift in the value of all coins as a whole, but I expect the majority of that shift to go to XRP, since it will be the only altcoin with established legal status at that time. And sure, I'm aware that appeals can be made. In that case, it's fair to say that there's room for uncertainty. Jeremy Hogan, Ripple's attorney, believes the SEC won't appeal Judge Torres' ruling if it goes to appeal because the stakes are too high. If an appeals court upholds Judge Torres' ruling and it's favorable to Ripple and XRP holders, the precedent will be set and the SEC's jurisdictional land grab will be effectively over. So, let's see what happens. But hey, I'm a positive thinker. Although I see no major problems, I anticipate a lot of flat trading for the remainder of this year. I anticipate that we will have a great time together. Sparks will fly as we travel this path. Thus, I'm looking on the bright side. I will be present. No, I don't give out financial advice. Nothing I say or write should be used as a basis for making financial decisions. Please like and subscribe my channel. See you later, bye.